Peru, home to the Inca, the Amazon, lush rainforests, some of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth, and almost 2,000 species of birds. And in this case, hummingbirds to be exact. It was after one hummingbird in particular, one that can be considered among the most coveted sights for birders in South America and the entire world. It was after this mysterious little bird that we set out on a month-long journey, chasing down the tiny creature that would turn out to be a life-changing project, finding waterfalls, dozens of other incredible species, friends, and amazing experiences along the way. Lima. If you're traveling just about anywhere in Peru, you will always have to go through Lima. The capital city with surfing, a relaxed vibe, and some of the best sushi we ever had. It basically deserves its own video, but we'll get more on that later. We were actually 4 months into an insane journey throughout South America. After spending Christmas and New Year's in Cusco, seeing Machu Picchu and Huayna, and spending my birthday deep in the Amazon, we had heard from our guide there about a curious and amazing little bird that only lived in a very specific place in the entire country and world. After getting some work done in Lima, seeing some of the city sights, and always shooting along the way, we had our idea, packed our bags, and the first stop on our journey would take us to the city of Jaén, about a 2-hour flight to the north of Peru, and back to the state of Amazonas.
Reserva a través de la web www.portal.com.
We had seen and heard some crazy news about the area, but didn't exactly know what to expect when we arrived. We deplaned and immediately took about a 30 or 40-minute bus to the actual airport, so I was curious right away where exactly we had landed. We grabbed our rental car straight from the airport, and we were on our second leg of the journey. A 6-hour drive into the eastern slopes of the Andes Mountains, to stay outside of a small village called Pedro Ruiz.
In other news at this hour, a strong earthquake that measured 7.5 on the Richter scale shook the remote Amazon region of northern Peru. No casualties have been reported. The epicenter of the quake was 42 kilometers northwest of the coastal city of Barranca. 220 homes were affected, 81 left uninhabited, and 75 destroyed. Some videos on social media showed stretches of roads blocked by huge rocks that had been knocked loose. President Pedro Castillo ordered immediate deployment of support personnel. He visited homes destroyed by the earthquake and also conducted an aerial survey to assess the damage.
What do you think about driving in Peru?
Oh,
Cut.
I'll tell you when we make it home alive. With just a few road delays from the recent earthquake, we had made it to our rental and were ready to get to work. It was just a short drive up the winding roadways to our destination. Wemble Lodge is an eco-an site supported by donation and one of, if not the only, protected site for the marvelous Spatuletail, the tiny endemic hummingbird we were after. It used to house few guests, but post-corona the area has been hit hard and support staff are recovering after nearly 2 years without any consistent ecotourism. We were greeted at the gate by a man named Santos. Santos was very helpful and opened up a bit about the area, and we felt grateful for his info and access.
¿Y lo de Wemble cuándo pasó?
Lo de Wemble ya viene en el 2006. Viene EcoAn, que es una organización que trabaja en el tema de conservación, y hacen un convenio con la comunidad y buscan esa área, ese lugar, donde puedan restaurar el hábitat de este colibrí, porque como ya está en peligro de extinción, y ellos buscaron un lugar donde se restaure el hábitat. Como ya todo el mundo ya me conocía a mí, entonces EcoAn vino también con los donantes. Bueno, en ese tiempo era BirdLife, American Bird Conservation, entonces una organización, los grandes que apoyaban el tema de conservación. Y vinieron y, o sea, todos los documentales, las fotos que hacían fue en mi lugar, pero para luego recibir los apoyos de esta especie acá en Wemble, ¿no? Y ahí donde Coan me da la oportunidad y me dice, tú como conoces a esta ave y estás detrás de eso y a muchos años tienes experiencia, queremos que trabajes para nosotros. Y me dieron la oportunidad, pues 2 años, hubo un proyecto de 2 años de monitoreo para yo estar detrás de este colibrí. Todos los días me dieron una larga vista, un libro y una cámara pequeña para todos los días salir al campo y recolectar semillas de las flores que se alimentaba. Y hicimos un vivero donde propagamos las plantas.
Wow.
Y sembramos en Wemble, ¿no? Estamos bastante en Wemble. Porque Wemble era casi como el cerro allá, todo pelado, pero ahora sí se ve
es un
con
lugar
muchos
hermoso, sí.
árboles. Todo fue reforestado en esa época. Y bueno, eso fue mi trabajo y siempre iba a mi lugar que tengo. Hasta ahora lo tengo el lugar, pero no mucho vamos ahí.
¿Pero siguen yendo ahí los colibríes todavía?
Sí, hay todavía los colibríes, pero tuve un problema hace 3 años atrás que lo quemaron mi lugar.
No.
Sí, fue quemado, pero lo veo que ya nuevamente se está restaurando el hábitat.
Dios.
Y luego salió en venta este terreno de acá. Sí, y nosotros no teníamos dinero porque el dueño ya quería vender urgente y Ecoan quería comprar, pero ellos todavía dijeron tenemos que buscar el financiamiento y eso demora unos 4 o 5 meses para aprobarlo, eso, ¿no? Y el dueño quería urgente vender. Yo sentía lástima, pues, porque al venderlo a otras personas empezaban a cortar, a hacer chacras y
se iba a perder.
Y se iba a perder todo, ¿no? Bueno, hicimos lo posible. Son 10 hectáreas este lugar. Y hicimos lo posible yo y mi suegro. Y si compramos a la mitad, ¿no? Entre los dos. Yo, bueno, me endeudé mucho. Saqué préstamos de las cajas del banco y un poco la pandemia que me limitó un poco, ¿no? Si no ya se terminaba de pagar, pero ya debo poco. Debo todavía, pero ya poco.
Pero menos.
Pero no. Y
Eso
en las
es muy
entrevistas,
interesante.
que siempre me hacen que siempre digo, bueno, un pajarito cambió mi vida. Sí.
Claro. La verdad que sí.
Sí.
La verdad que sí.
With the few places Santos had shown us, the next real task wasn't too difficult, but a test nonetheless, waiting. But one by one, they began to appear. More species of hummingbirds than I had ever seen in one place, and the amazing display they put on was mesmerizing. This incredible little bird is known only to exist in one valley in all of northern Peru and the world, with the IUCN listing its status as endangered and its population decreasing. A male marvelous spatuletail hummingbird has 2 long tail feathers, or spatules, that he can control independently, but he often uses them in unison. Using them in a semicircular motion, he can aim to lure in and dazzle a mate, or to fend off and sort of joust younger males who haven't grown their full feathers yet. He also pulses them up and down when agitated. If you've ever wanted to see some intensely beautiful but also strange bird behavior, we waited for hours on end, for days, to see one of the most curious bird battles in nature, here a young male doing his best against a more mature male with full spatules. I was glad to be grabbing some photos as we witnessed this incredible display. The marvelous Spatuletail was to this day one of the most challenging animals we've ever attempted capturing. Imagine filming a dragonfly, really with 2 feathers that are nearly the size of its body. They can be up to 4 to 5 times longer than his body length. It creates sort of a floating distraction that becomes difficult to follow. Anyone who's ever spent much time watching hummingbirds can easily notice a few things. Hummingbirds are fast. It was Barbie's first time practicing some filming, and she was able to capture some really nice shots with dazzling aeronautical displays as these tiny birds zipped and dive-bombed all over the place. Hummingbirds are also very fierce. More territorial than dangerous to each other, they constantly battled for positioning, and arguments were often settled by size. Our time with the hummingbirds, and especially the marvelous Spatuletail, left us realizing just how fragile the habitat and ecosystem really are in the many parts of northern Peru and the Amazon rainforest. American Bird Conservancy lists the main threat to this hummingbird as habitat destruction, usually caused by burning for agriculture and illegal wood cutting. The fires set to clear areas for farming were often very close by, and unfortunately are one of the leading causes for the depletion of the Amazon rainforest. A struggling economy and tourism industry devastated by the pandemic have left many areas in tougher and tougher circumstances. Meanwhile, some still try to maintain conservational efforts. But with protected areas like Wemble, the hope that a model can exist to help sustain one of the most incredible little birds on Earth still remains.